Oh, hey everyone. I'm Simon. Welcome to the first ever Ask Me Anything session with Botpress. I'm here with Sylvain, the founder of the
Hi
company,
everyone.
and Mark, the marketing guy, and also JB, the finance guy, who's going to show up on the camera right now. Yeah. So we're glad to have you all today in the Ask Me Anything session. So one of the goals of this session is to get to show our faces to you and to explain what's happening at Botpress, what we do every day, what's the challenges we're facing, and also to show our basically what we're doing every day here at Botpress. So people ask us all the time if Botpress is only an open source project or a company. And actually, we're both. So we believe in open source values. We believe in open source code, and there's we're about and oh, sorry, little glitch there. So yeah, we're about 16 employees right now in Botpress. We're growing steadily, adding more members into the family each day. And yeah, we every day we have more open source contributions through our code base. We've had many contributions this year. It's going strong. And today we'd like to collect your the feedback from the community and share our roadmap with you, as well as share our company mission with all of you. So, with that being said, I'll let Sylvain talk just a little bit about what's happening, what we've done in the last year at Botpress, and what's the next challenges we're going to tackle in the next few weeks.
Yeah,
And
sure.
months.
So I won't take much of the time. And sorry, guys, if you see me watching my phone, I'm just looking at the comments on the chat. So I'm not distracted. I'm just looking for your questions. And as we go through this live session, don't hesitate. Ask your questions directly in the chat, and we're here to answer those questions. That's why we're here today. So this session is scheduled for like an hour long session, but I don't believe that we'll take the full hour. So as we see the questions be exhausted, we will put an end to the live stream. The goal of this exercise is really just to touch base on a more frequent basis with the community, be a bit more transparent, with what we're trying to accomplish, what's the roadmap, the issues we're facing, how you can, help us on our mission. So it's not so long as filling out the full hours, just being there on a weekly basis with our users. So in the last year, we have created, we have produced about 200 releases for the software. So that goes without saying. It's incredibly challenging in terms of technology and pace of innovation. So it's only possible because of open source contributors. So thanks for everyone for reporting bugs, contributing patches, for creating new features. So we need the help of everyone. As you know, we're on a mission to make software understand humans. So that for this, we need to understand the natural language. We need to understand conversation, and we need to be able to connect those conversations, those users, with the software via messaging channels, including text and voice. So we have a lot of challenge there. In the past year, we pushed 11 and 12. We have rebuilt from the ground up our NLU engine. We have worked extensively on making the software a bit more enterprise friendly. So adding, authentication and security features to the software.
Workspaces,
We have, the RBAC.
RBAC, yeah, yeah, role-based access controls to the
Yeah.
in the mix, yeah.
Yeah. So that and these features are directly coming from our customers. So they voice themselves, and we push these features to help them scale Botpress across their organizations. So This year, what we're really focusing on is the next level NLU. So we reached a point where NLU is doing great, but to in order to truly understand conversations and really create the next level assistant, we need to ramp up NLU significantly in terms of fundamentally understanding what users say. So for this comes with many challenges, but we're working more specifically on task-specific models for the NLU. So this involves machine learning and AI. So if some of you are currently watching and are knowledgeable about AI and machine learning, we're hiring and we need help. So feel free to contact us, and we would love to pick your brain and just have your feedback on this. The next challenge is what we call NDU, so natural dialogue understanding. So what do you do once you understand the sentence of a user? What do you do with that? So in order to respond the best way possible, you have to understand the context of the conversation, what the user said, what do you know about this user, who he is in the organization, and what channel he's using to speak with you in order to respond with the best.
So yeah, NDU is like the big next milestone for Botpress, right? Am I correct?
Yeah. That's really what's gonna push the bots to the next level in terms of user experience.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much understanding. So the understanding part is really important, but what's currently lacking is a great dialogue management system based on machine learning.
Yeah, so your bot remembers what you said before and can infer context based on the past conversations, right?
Yeah, and there are already some great statistical based models in the research. The problem is those models rely on a lot of past conversations, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to provide hundreds, if not thousands, of conversation examples. That is simply not scalable for our user base,
Mm-hmm.
right? Most of the time they don't have past conversations,
yeah,
or it's not in the format that is easily digestible for creating the models. So what we're trying to achieve is a mix between visual editing and statistical model.
Yeah.
To allow without much training data, you can create pretty accurate and natural conversations. So that's the current challenge. And the last piece that we're really focusing on is trying to make Botpress a bit more user friendly, for the non-technical. So the stage we're currently in is that we deployed Botpress across hundreds of really big companies, and once they reach the point where they're trying to get productive with the software, so they're past the proof of concept stage, and now they're trying to scale it across the organization. Non-technical people have the need to use the software.
Yes.
So it goes out of the hands of the software engineers and the conversational designers, if we can use this term, and goes to people in finance, in HR, and so in business in general. And so these people have a hard time using Botpress because of the complexity.
There's still a lot of code involved if you want to do your own actions, and you have to play with hooks, and you have to know JavaScript. This is a big hurdle for people who are not as tech savvy as regular engineers.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So this is a big area of focus for this year.
Nice. And do you have anything more to announce?
No, I think no. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So let's take a few questions from the chat now. Let's go. We've got an interesting one here from Sangram. Sangram would like to know. He would like to know the story of Botpress and how it started and what inspired you to create Botpress, I guess.
Yeah, sure. Good. That's a really good question. So, Botpress initially started as, and by the way, I'm co-founder of the company. So that's it's a bit of a personal story here. So I was working in the company. That was in 2016. So 3 4 years ago.
Mhm.
We were working on an incredibly complex software that requires non-technical people usage, but also our usage. Oftentimes, I would get questions, on how to do this and how to do that in the software. Although the software could do everything, it was pretty complex to use and learn, right?
Mhm.
Because it could do so many things. And
Yes.
so these questions, although they could do it, they contain all the pieces of information that I would need to actually do it myself. So I really started to being interested in natural language processing
Mhm.
to sort of decompose these requests
Yes.
and trying to automate my job
Yeah. What
at that company.
what was the business doing? What was the need for chat interfaces back in the days?
Well, it wasn't that it was a need for chat interfaces. It was just me being lazy and wanting to automate my SMS and emails.
Yeah.
So it was for me. So
Okay.
it was I was just trying to create a chatbot for myself. So it wasn't the need for a chatbot, more so that a need for understanding the request to just do stuff
Yeah.
without having to do it myself. So
Exactly. So in sum, it was like your interest in machine understanding of text to automate your tasks.
yeah, and that proved to be a pretty difficult task. Yeah, so I was a bit naive. So back in the days, there wasn't that much tooling yet. We were in the banking industry, so we needed obviously high security. There wasn't Microsoft Louise or Dialflow back then didn't exist, and even if it existed, we couldn't take it because in the banking industry you require something that is on prem.
Yeah.
So we just started building.
So the secret conversations between banking clients cannot go on the internet and be stored in Google's data center, for example.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't want, you don't want all the messages, right, with your customers to be streamed to these big SaaS companies
Mhm.
for obvious reasons. So we just created our own tooling, and then all of a sudden chatbots became a thing.
Yeah.
And we thought, hey, let's just release in open source whatever we built. And that was in January 2017, and from there it really started, picking up. So the developer community really liked the tool.
So I think back in the days, Botpress was a NPM package, right?
It was less of a platform, more like a framework.
Yes.
So there was very little GUI, very very code oriented. But then we had some pretty big clients. I can't name them obviously on the public stream, but they contacted us and said, oh, hey, we like using the npm package, but we are this big, very big company, and we need to have it enterprise ready.
Yes.
And for this we need a graphical interface. We need non-technical people to be able to do this and do that. So really from there we just worked with big companies like that on improving the product, and really so that's where we started the company. So because it was just an open source package before, it was just a small project on the side,
Mhm.
then really became a company.
And where did the need for the graphical interface arise?
That was 1 year after the initial release. So that was in January 2018.
Mhm.
It arose from people trying to map out the conversations. Because
Okay.
if you're trying to create a dialogue from like you have in Botpress right now, but trying to do that in code, it turns out like spaghetti
Spaghetti
code, right? It's very hard to create and manage.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that's and when you try to map out a process, a business, especially a business process, the first thing you do naturally is create a flow chart.
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
So that's what everybody
thinks in terms of conversations through flowcharts. So it's a natural way of building it through a GUI.
Yeah. So that's really what they were after. Right.
Okay, nice. So fast forward to today, and we're like 16 employees now, with employees all over the world, and growing fast and making stuff happen. So
yeah.
All right. So next question. We have Maxley here asking, what's the difference between Botpress and other platforms?
Yeah. Well, the difference. Well, it depends on what you mean other bot building platform, but. We are different in the sense that we're not a SaaS platform. It's a non-print product. We don't have as a business model to ingest your data and then sell it.
Yeah, exactly.
So our model is fundamentally different. Also, we're very developer focused, right? So we're trying to be a tool that developers feel like home when using it.
Yes.
So you could see the similarity with VS Code or traditional IDEs.
Yeah, we really love VS Code. So you can see in the layout and some of the design decisions.
Yeah. So really, this is what differentiates us. I think is how you can use it and who uses it.
Yeah.
The other bot platforms, are mostly visual. They're not very extensible per se, and they don't have privacy as their first concern.
Yeah. So extensibility through built for developers and having the ability to have machine learning run on your servers instead of going to the big players in the valley.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next, we have a question from Julian asking, what's up with the WhatsApp channel? Yeah. What's going on the WhatsApp side? Because WhatsApp is, I hear, is quite popular in the world.
Yeah. So what happens with WhatsApp? I wish we had WhatsApp. Also, because I want to automate some of my conversations over there. But WhatsApp just recently opened. There was last year they opened their API for businesses, but this is still in early alpha, so it's a closed channel, and so it's pretty hard. Like we tried to contact the WhatsApp team, we're in touch with them, but it's like it's pretty hard for a platform to open up the valve for many more people to use it because they're trying to restrict it to a few businesses. So
it's basically a beta. Their
yeah,
API
it's still in very
private beta.
very early stage. So it's quite hard to do a direct integration with WhatsApp. So what we're trying to do now, I believe there's a pull request right now opened on GitHub, is we're going to via Smooch. So Smooch is a platform that it's been acquired by Zendesk very recently. But what they're doing is essentially abstracting the connectivity to the different channels.
Oh,
so
nice.
With Smooch, you can connect to WhatsApp, you can connect to Telegram, Skype and Cisco. And
so this is like a bridge between other chat providers, and this would be a way, because Smooch probably has...
They have this partnership with WhatsApp,
which
right?
we
So
don't.
Which we don't, right? So,
but we should.
But
at some point, maybe we will. But
through Smooch, in the next couple of days, people will be able to use WhatsApp.
Okay, so long answer short, it's coming. Yeah. All right. We have a question from Fastplate007. Hello, Fastplate. Is it possible to extend the language server so that it can analyze the whole conversation instead of just the last message? That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So yes, it is possible.
Okay.
We're working on this. So this is what we were talking about in the U.
Yeah.
Right? So really, the goal is to analyze the whole conversation.
Yeah.
So it's not in the language server,
Yeah,
though.
right.
It's a different model. So the language server is more for getting some information. So it's really for NLU,
Mhm.
not so much for NDU. So
Yeah.
NDU is going to be a different piece of the software.
Absolutely.
But yeah, stay tuned because it's coming in Botpress 13.
Okay. All right. Any more questions? Is it possible to add custom modules for the binary version of Botpress?
Say that again.
Is that possible to add custom modules for
Yeah.
the binary version?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You just
totally.
drag and drop your module in the modules folder.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
short.
basically, you have to build your own module beforehand. Probably have to compile it or zip it.
Yeah.
somewhere or
So
another.
there's a so in the Botpress repo, there's a module builder folder that
Yeah.
you can use. So that's basically like an npm package that is not public. It's not
Mhm.
published on npm, but it's a separate project that you can use to create and build your own modules.
Yeah.
So you can copy and paste one of the existing modules, use the module builder to rebuild and package your own module.
Yeah.
This will give you a zip file, so a tgz
Yeah.
file. Put it inside your binaries module folder, and
when the server starts, it will basically unzip the whole
Yeah.
file and put it in the data folder, and here
Yeah.
it goes.
Yeah.
Your module-
oh
your
well,
module will be
one piece missing is like in the Botpress config JSON. There's an entry that you need to.
Yeah, you need to set it. You need to activate your module. There's like a config. You have to set it to true.
Yeah.
And then your module is up and running. But definitely, we should do a better job of writing a good tutorial on this one, because it's not the first time that the issue of building modules comes up, and it should be more clear how to do that.
Yeah, but I'm interested though in learning what module you're trying to build, and
Oh yes.
so if you can type in the chat, what you have in mind.
Yes. Okay. A question from frequent contributor Xavier Briol. Hi, Xavier. You said that you wanted to improve Botpress UI by making it more user friendly, but do we still have the possibility to write some actions in GS with node modules also?
Oh, of course.
Yes.
Oh yeah. So
yeah.
I mean, we're not trying to. So our focus is developers, right?
Yeah.
What we're trying to do is add a layer of easiness on top of the
Yes.
platform. But the goal is really to keep it as flexible as it is right now,
Mhm.
to keep it as developer focused,
Yeah.
but also have this
So
layer.
you can satisfy the needs of the newbie users who are not as tech savvy, as well as the power users who know how to code.
Yeah.
Okay, so actions are not going anywhere.
No, and we're
Custom
doubling
actions.
down in custom actions. So we'll add SDK so that you can code in different languages.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is happening too. That's good. Another question from Sergey. If Botpress uses API channel, is it possible to send messages to user through HITL, human in the loop?
Yeah. API. Yeah.
I think what he means is it possible to use the Botpress API to send HITL answers? Probably, yes.
Yeah. So one problem you have with the API channel is that it's not proactive, right? So you use the API to get a response from Botpress,
Mhm.
but if Botpress proactively sends out a response to a user
Yeah.
without the user asking for
Mhm.
something, there's no way you can
Collect.
kind of be alerted through
Yeah.
the API channel. So one way you can kind of circumvent or go around this is by continually long polling
Mhm.
using the API channel.
Yeah.
You can query very often the
To see if there's a response available from the chatbot.
Yeah. And then using a hook, maybe you can, because for using the API channel, you need to actually send out a message, right?
Mhm.
So using a hook, you can kind of erase it from the middleware
Yeah.
so that it disappears in the incoming,
Mhm.
but still the API channel will try to see if there's inside the outgoing queue if there's a message that should have been sent to the user before. So that should
Right.
work.
Okay. Next one. Okay. Well, AV asks, where can we see our console.logs if we create actions within the global action folder? So,
Well, actually, console.log should not be used. You should use bp.logger for this purpose
yes,
because we
yes.
have
In the SDK, there's logging facilities. There's a class named Logger inside
Yeah.
the SDK to do just that.
I
So
believe
if-
if you even if you create it in the global folder, they should show up in the logs if you use the Botpress logger.
Yeah, if console.logs should appear in std out in normally. Think
In
so?
std out, yes,
Yes.
but they won't show up in the visual interface. So maybe
Yes,
that's
yes, right. So in the GUI interface, when you're debugging your chatbot, you won't see console.logs there
No.
in the UI. You will see them in your server logs if you tail your logs from your server, but yeah, the better solution is to use the logging facility from the SDK.
Yeah.
Okay. Abdul asks, any plans to make a detailed, possibly paid video course for Botpress? That'd be really interesting.
Yeah.
Because we've had some tutorials that have been made by a very nice guy for free on our YouTube channel. They have a few thousand views each, and but as you know, making videos, making courses is really time consuming, and we're a small company, so yeah, it's definitely in the pipeline. It's really an idea that we want to keep exploring, and doing a course on Botpress would be awesome.
Yeah, I think there's like two main areas where, but people ask for videos all the time.
Oh, yes.
The problem with videos is that as you change the UI, you need to update the videos, right? So
Yes.
that's very time consuming, not only to create high quality videos, but also to maintain those
Mhm.
videos so that
Yeah.
they're always up to date with the latest version.
Yes.
So probably as the software matures and in its it stops changing every week, maybe making videos will make more sense. But something that videos can be very useful right now would be in conversational design in general.
Oh,
And
yes.
like the principles and
like how to make a bot that's fun to chat with, that's like natural seeming.
yeah
Yes.
yeah, and all the concepts like NLU, NDU, and like intents and
Yeah, there's,
entities and stuff like that.
Yeah,
It won't change.
there's so many concepts that could be explained through video to make the use of Botpress
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And maybe having some videos on stuff that we know won't change that often
Yeah.
would make sense as well.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely some videos will be coming in the future. That's a yes for sure. Okay. Any more questions that we may have forgotten? JB, have you?
I saw a question that didn't seem to be answered.
Yeah.
Someone asked about how people that are non-technical can contribute to the community.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Non-technical to contribute. Yeah, so I mean, creating content, right? Like if you challenge on something, like if you're getting challenged on something, you find out the solution, like maybe you reached out to support or the community, you got your answer.
Mhm.
One great way of contributing is maybe write a blog article about it, write the answer, be involved in the community.
Or if you don't have a blog to write to, you can just post a message on our forum and just you can detail your approach. You can basically write your tutorial in a post in the forum, and when people search for this particular issue, the answer will rank through Google, and people will find your article
I think
easily.
right, asking technical questions on the forum is always helpful. But another thing that I've seen that I feel like really resonates with most of our developers is asking question is giving feedback, right? So I've seen some very detailed posts about where people are going wrong, and definitely as we try to make Botpress less technical for a certain layer of users, that kind of feedback is way more useful because we get way more feedback from developers. So that non-technical feedback is gold for us. So it comes a lot from our enterprise clients, but if we get some from the community, these posts never go unread.
Yeah.
Yes. So how you can contribute is you can post tutorials on the forum if you want, or just give us feedback on features you would like to see, or issues or bugs that you see in the UI. That's a very good way of contributing to the community.
Another great way would be like we're trying to do these meetups in to get Botpress known more in the world. So if you're a meetup organizer, if you'd love to organize something, for doing an event or a meetup somewhere, would love to have help on this.
Yeah, we can sponsor your event if you want to do something locally in your neighborhood and you want to do a show and tell and like people displaying the chatbots that they built with Botpress or something like that. That'd be really interesting. And we're open to that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's 2 new questions if you want to go through it.
Yeah. Sarah Reese.
Are there plans for updating your documentation? Absolutely. So absolutely. I've been working on that for the past few weeks. I've been trying to rework the whole structure of the documentation to put it to refresh it and make it more linear, easier to read, remove some cruft that has been accumulated, and update all the tutorials that we have. Yeah. So this is, as you might imagine, this is a big endeavor because it's basically a book that's written on Botpress, the whole documentation that we have. So I have to put some effort in that, but yeah, it's definitely underway. The documentation as it is right now has been growing like organically, and it's time to prune the branches a little bit to make sure the tree grows in the right direction. Yeah. So we're working on that.
Yeah. Any feedback on the documentation would be helpful, right? On what do you think should be the right structure? What what is clear, what isn't that clear?
Yeah, we recently added the feedback widget on the right-hand side of the documentation. It's using Hotjar. So if you want to give us feedback there and give comments on the documentation, that's really helpful.
Yeah.
Lokesh asks how Botpress deals with custom components like chart, tables, etc. in the chat window UI.
Yeah. Great question. Yeah. Not that many people know about that, actually. Yeah. There's all the components you see in the chat window are extensions to the chat emulator, the web chat channel. So you can create your own components by creating a module in Botpress. So the whole web chat is created using React, and there's injection points for you to actually customize the web chat to your liking. You can create your own components. You can restyle it as you wish.
Yes.
You can change its behavior. You can completely change the way it behaves. So it's very flexible, but it's a bit undocumented.
Yes.
So in the Botpress GitHub, there's a folder called examples.
Yes.
And you'll see in there chat third-party components or something like that. Go in there and you'll see examples on how to create custom components. So you can create charts and tables and stuff like that.
Yeah. So see the examples folder in the code base, and there's one for custom modules, for custom components rather. Sangram, I agree with you. One-click Heroku deploy would be very helpful. We added one-click deploy to DigitalOcean. Our plan is to also add it for AWS, and Heroku would be awesome too, because from the feedback we see in the community, Heroku seems to be very popular among you guys. So definitely on a roadmap there.
Yep.
Pablo Costa. Hi, Pablo. He asks, does BP have conversation context support? For example, to handle situations like, what is the weather in France? And then the user asks, and what about Uruguay? Well, I guess that comes back to the NDU feature that we're currently building. So,
Yeah.
in case you missed it, NDU is our next big milestone in Botpress, and NDU stands for Natural Dialogue Understanding. So, it's basically an additional layer of AI that we're working on that will empower the bot to remember the context of the previous messages in the conversation. So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
so when your user will be asking what about Uruguay, then the chatbot will understand through the NEU.
Yeah,
the
we already
download.
have context support built in right now. The problem with that is that it's explicit, so you have to explicitly create your context.
Yeah, so
right?
that's not a scalable
uh,
approach to a very intelligent chatbot, right?
Yeah, exactly. But so if we answer the question directly, yes, like we have context support.
Yeah.
Although you have to create the context yourself.
Mhm.
What we're trying to do with NDU is create implicit context,
Yes.
so that you don't have to worry about that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Anything else that we might have missed?
I saw 2 questions that I'm not too sure about. So
Oh yeah, throw them ahead.
Okay, so Murad asks, please tell us about your affiliate principles. Have Botpress representative offers? So I'm guessing he's asking about partnerships with agencies, maybe,
Yeah.
if I'm guessing. So it's more like of an open approach. We can,
Let's see your face.
yeah, it's a bit
Let's see.
strange to
All
have me
right, all right.
talking. Yeah, so I'm wearing a tropical shirt for some reason. It's very cold right now in Canada.
Minus 17. Minus 17 calls for a tropical
Yeah, so
t-shirt.
basically we have an open approach. So we have larger partnerships with agencies that we formalize, but of course, being open source, there is multiple people. If someone wants something more formal, we always do it on a case-by-case basis, and keeping in mind that there are bigger fish and smaller fish, and trying to keep that open source mentality. So we have different offers catered to different levels. Of course, none of this is, but you can just contact us, get into contact through the web form, and yeah, we definitely respond to every agency that wants to become a partner.
All right, maybe time for one last question. Is there any more that we? Oh, there's a question that we missed. Any plans for easy integration with Flutter? Yeah, so Flutter is, I believe, it's a tool for building mobile applications using what is it called again? That language. Let me Google that. I don't remember.
Flutter is an open source UI software development
Yes.
kit by Google for development of applications in Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, Linux, and Google Fuchsia.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, I believe that it would be to create the chat window on mobile devices using Flutter, maybe something like that, or I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a bit curious about that.
We haven't explored that area. Maybe if you wanna, you could open an issue on the forum, so we can discuss this more in detail if you want. Oh, Dart. Yes, it's written in Dart. That's what I was thinking.
Oh,
yeah,
I see.
I couldn't find the name of the language, but then yeah, Dart. Yeah, so maybe Dart one day. Yeah, just open up an issue and we'll discuss about this for sure.
Yeah. Someone has a question about 508 compliance. So 508, I think, is disabilities. I'm not.
Oh yes. We've had this question on the forum like a couple of months ago. People were asking if Botpress it was on a roadmap to be 508 compliant for disabled people.
Yeah, I'm not sure of what all the 508 recommendations are, but we're trying to cater to basically we're trying to make the web chat more accessible. It's not really a focus for the studio itself, more for the web chat, right?
Yes.
Because we have millions of users using the web chat.
Yes.
So it's very important that we enable that for as many people as possible. So Yeah, definitely. So if you have any recommendation or stuff that you think are critically missing, feel free to reach out on the forum or email.
Yes, absolutely.
In terms of accessibility and compliance, we've been working on making, well, this is more like a Q2 thing, but multilingual studio. So that will give access to more clients, especially in government.
Yes.
So here in Canada, you have, of course, the bilingual obligation, not only for the language of the bot, but also for the studio and every menu inside it. So yeah, that's something that's coming. We don't have an exact date, but that's going to make it more compliant for more people.
I have switched from Oracle Digital Assistant to IBM Watson and IBM Watson to Botpress. I find Botpress to be capable. I really find Botpress to be capable of being market leader. Yeah, well, thanks.
That's
Yeah,
what we,
that's good.
That's what we think also. Yeah.
That's what we aim to be,
Yeah,
right? And
cool.
so
Thanks for the compliment, Lokesh. That's good. AV asks again, button labels, tap keyboard input to navigate through different buttons of the bot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that's
We definitely
that's
have
the final idea.
keyboard input. We have that. Navigate through different buttons of the button. Yeah. So button labels, I guess we miss some of them,
Yes.
and some of them are not translated in all the languages.
Mhm.
So we need some help on this, but definitely, yeah.
Okay. So I guess we'll wrap this session up. So yeah, guys, it's been very fun to have you all here asking questions, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And we'll definitely be hosting more AMA sessions like that in the future. I think it's been a success.
Yeah.
Yes. So any closing words, Sylvain?
No,
Okay.
really, it's just thanks for asking your questions. Thanks for attending. The goal is to make these much more frequent, to be more transparent, and be in touch with the community.
All right. Perfect. So see you around, guys.
See you around, and
uh,
happy bot building.
Yeah.